My name is Deb Enright, and this is Money Matters. As always, thank you to Daryl Thompson of Raymond James for his continued support of our program. Today, we talk to a member of our Williamson County community who provides a unique example of partnering on different levels with our schools. Debbie Henry, Executive Director of the Tennessee Management Association, or TMA, as everyone knows the organization, is my guest. Debbie is a graduate of our school system and a graduate of our first Williamson County Schools Ambassador program. Her daughter is also a graduate of our system. Our show today focuses on finding the opportunities in our Williamson County school system that fit the very talent you have to offer our students. It's about time, that priceless resource you have that can be extended to the Williamson County school system. In our conversation today, we will learn how one graduate from the system continues to give to the current generations of students long after her child walked the halls of one of our schools. After the break, we will meet community partner extraordinaire Debbie Henry. Please stay with us.
You'd never leave your child alone with this, or this, or this, or this. So don't leave your child alone in a car, because this can do this, to this, and this, and this. Power windows have hurt or killed hundreds of children. So never ever leave a child alone in a car, not for 1 minute.
Welcome back to Money Matters. I am delighted to welcome Debbie Henry today to learn from her how to get involved in our schools and how to stay involved. Debbie, welcome.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you here and to have a conversation about someone who knows the system very well from a variety of positions, I guess.
True.
And has decided to stay involved in the school system and particularly in the community. So let's start first with a little bit about Debbie Henry. So let's talk about your participation in the county schools.
Okay, well, I'd be happy to do that. Well, it all started back in the day, but my parents moved here to Williamson County because of the schools back in 1972. Even then, the schools were setting standards. This county's school system was just setting standards that were attracting people to this area. And I was a freshman in high school at the time, and so do a little math and everything, but don't do the math. But what was neat is I got to be part of the first year 9th grade class of what was called then Northside Middle School, which is now Brentwood Middle School.
Okay.
So I was in that class, and then everybody went to one high school in the county, and that was Franklin High School. So that is part of my tapestry. I got to be part of Franklin High School, graduated in '76. I actually went to college at Belmont, and I have never really left the community. I've always stayed engaged here. My parents still live here. I was fortunate enough to live here and raise my family here, and I have a daughter, and she went through Lipscomb Elementary, Brentwood Middle School, Brentwood High School, and then has built upon that in her academic journey. And so through my work, I've always had the fortune, really good fortune, of being connected with the community. And I do wholeheartedly believe that it's important to pay it forward, and that we all have responsibility in enriching our community. Just because our kids graduate and move on, we don't need to stop our commitment to our schools at that point. We need to keep on, because we all win that way.
Well, and you have, I think your roots are so deep because you have experienced what schools in this area and this district are about. And so I'm sure that was fun to share with your daughter as well.
It was.
And I'm sure because she went to a rival high school, that was even more fun.
It was.
She was going through that.
It was great. And also a little caveat story is that Willie Dickerson, who is the principal at Franklin High School, she was my health teacher at Northside. And so she not only had me, but then she was the principal at Brentwood High School the first year Caroline was there.
Oh my goodness.
And so, you know, it's just interwoven. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It really is. But it is what makes this community so tremendous. It is one of the things. But like I said, the schools have just, the school system is incredible, and how its journey has, since 1972, has traveled in such different directions and growth, but yet the core values have stayed the same.
Well, and I think what's also interesting is, I mean, there's obviously a great and colorful history for your family, but you're also still very involved in the community itself. And tell us a little bit about your work so we can kind of place that in the context of your community work.
I, for the past 10 years, have been involved with the Transportation Management Association group called the TMA group. A lot of people, we have 3 very strong programs. Most people know us for one of those programs. Locally, we operate and manage the Franklin Transit Authority, which is Franklin's public transit service. So we operate that. We also operate our commuter regional van pool program, and then the Clean Air Partnership program.
Now, I just want to make sure, that's the trolleys, right?
Right. The Franklin
those.
Transit, yes.
So that must be kind of interesting. I mean, so you get to see the community in a kind of a larger overview, I guess, in some senses.
We do. And actually, through the Transit Authority, we have partnerships with Centennial High School and Franklin High School, because there are programs that are after school at those both of those schools that we children need transportation back home. So we have a partnership with the Williamson County School System to provide that transportation to those kids for those programs.
Oh, you're really connected with partnerships.
Well, we feel that partnerships are the success of any community.
I think that's really true. I love how, as a student, you get to walk through the system. As a mom, you get to walk through the system.
Right.
And now, as somebody who helps to lead at least those 3 points at TMA, you really have an understanding of what the needs might be for the students and for parents and other community members, which I think puts you in a really neat position.
Well, I do get to see every day, because of what we do in our work, how important, you know, we see workforces. We see what those workforces look like, because we're taking these people back and forth to work, and how important education is to the success and depth and breadth of the workforces of this, not only this community, but any community. I mean, if the community has a tremendous education component, then that workforce is going to be so much more enriched, and the community as a whole will thrive so much better.
And this tells us why it's important for the community to work with the schools to work with the community, et cetera. Which gives us just a marvelous segue. So after this break, we're going to stay with Debbie, and after this break, we're going to talk about a particular partnership with some community leaders that we launched this year called the Ambassador Program. And so after the break, we'll come back. This unique partnership helped to create a variety of partnerships, and one that Debbie has created has a neat blend of our students, performing arts, and senior citizens. So I'm going to leave it at that.
Sounds good.
And then we'll explain when we come back. Please stay with us.
On narrow roads like this, cyclists should leave at least 2 car lengths in between riders. That way the cars have room to get in between the cyclists and pass them individually. If the lane is too narrow, or if the cyclists are traveling pretty much the same speed as traffic, then the cyclists have the right to come out and take the lane. Stay safe and have fun. And most of all, enjoy the ride.
And welcome back to Money Matters. I'm joined by community leader extraordinaire, Debbie Henry. And so what I want to talk about now is this thing that we all shared together, the Ambassadors Program. And you were part of the inaugural cohort, to sound super academic, first class.
I love it. I love
the
it.
first guinea pigs, I guess we can say. A 5-month program. We started in January, and you had the delight of going through lunch lines and on the school buses and sitting with little ones and teaching them how to read and stuff. But before all of that, I guess the question I have is, why did you say yes?
That's a very good question. And it was, first of all, I was like, holy cow, what an opportunity. You know, this is so cool. I want to know more about it. I want to see, like you said, I've been involved in different facets of my life throughout the school system, but it's been now 8-9 years since my daughter's been through the schools. It had anything to do with the schools. And so I thought, I want to see where we are. And knowing all the great stuff that's being done in our school system, I thought, I want to see firsthand, because I'm always bragging about it. And I thought, well, I'll know what the latest and greatest is. And plus, that part about, you know, it's so critically important to be a good steward of our community and to have this knowledge.
Yeah, and it would work with what you said about the workforce, that youth service. I would think that would have been kind of a good way to learn more about maybe what families are needing and what the graduates are needing. That's cool. I didn't know that. Yes. That's neat. Yes. Okay, so what did you think, after you said yes, which was very nice, what did you think was going to happen? I mean, when someone says ambassador, I mean, no international travel, sorry, but what did you think was going to happen?
What did I think was going to happen? I thought we would just get a little overview about, you know, maybe these are our latest and greatest achievements. These are some of the issues we're facing. I had no idea we would be riding on a school bus, but I loved it. Since when did they put the seats up so high? But anyway,
I'm with you on that.
I mean, that was
crazy.
Chat? I know, absolutely. But no, it was great, and it was wonderful to be hands-on, involved in the classrooms. I love that we got to see everybody from the little guys all the way up to the seniors that are graduating, and to see the different spectrums, the different needs, the different age groups. And there's still nothing that makes my heart happier than a kindergarten classroom. and I was kind of like, okay, this is where I belong. But it was just amazing, the experience. And again, the classmates I got to share this experience with. I mean, I was somewhere the other day and ran into two of them, and we were just like, oh, hey, you know, we were talking about our experiences. So I walked away with so much more than I ever expected to gain.
Oh, I'm so glad to hear that. Well, is there one particular moment that kind of grabbed you, or a day that grabbed you? Just to re-describe, so over the 5 months, we would go visit clusters. Kind of in the morning, it would be, we're going to talk about teaching and learning, or the budget process, or some aspect, and then we go out to a cluster or a couple schools for you all to kind of put that into play. So was there a favorite day or moment, conversation?
Well, I tell you what, something that was so insightful for me, I think, you know, we all know Williamson County is the place to be, the best place to be, has the best schools. But I think sometimes we don't realize that there is a range of need, even among the schools in the county. And so it was so educational, no pun intended, but it was educational to me to like see Fairview schools, see Brentwood schools, see the difference between even the high schools and Centennial and Brentwood High and the other high schools, and then see all the wonderful growth that's happening out in Spring Hill area. And, you know, to see where our county, kind of to see what our breadth is as far as the county is concerned, and how our educational system is working diligently every day to meet those needs, because there's quite the diversity. And I mean, and we're not only talking economically, we're talking in children's abilities and also their talents. And so that was just very insightful, because I knew my personal experience of Northside and then Franklin, and then had Caroline's experience of Lipscomb and Brentwood Middle and then Brentwood High. So I just thoroughly enjoyed being able to see the complete picture.
Yeah, it's a pretty broad spectrum.
It is.
And every pocket has its great features
It does.
that brings that richness to the district.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, you talk about a sense of family and warmth and pride, and that was so evident in Fairview. You know, they were so proud. They are so proud, and they're such a. It's not really a community feel; it's a family feel.
Yeah.
You know, and that is just something to be cherished. You know, and so the school is recognizing that and blending the programs with that feel, and that is just fantastic. And then, like I said, other schools had their own dynamics, and so
yeah, it is kind of neat to have
It is.
that feel. I think we probably all would have described an identity for each of them.
Absolutely.
I think what might have been fun for you is to have been at Franklin as the one and only, and then seen the district kind of grow, and then to walk onto Summit's campus.
yes,
Continues to blow me away.
absolutely.
But to watch and understand that, it must also be kind of fun when we talk with PTO about the new structures that were going to be in place, that everything from some for bleachers and lining the field and scoreboards, and the same way that other schools had built their kind of
Right.
extracurricular infrastructure was now their turn to do that.
Absolutely. And then the programs like the culinary arts program. And, you know, that blew my mind. I thought, how fascinating and how awesome that this school system provides that, you know, and the cosmetology program that we got to witness. I mean, I was just intrigued because in school I was a science nut. And so to see that, and that was the world I lived in, but then to see this all being these other dimensions and being added to the curriculum is just fantastic.
Well, I think what's kind of fun about the next step for you folks are the partnerships that you have talked about. And I think what we'll do is kind of briefly talk about it now, and then after the break come back and do it in
Sure.
detail.
Sure.
But would you tell us what you're going to do and kind of how that even works with what you do on a daily basis?
I would be happy to, yes. Exciting program that we're, partnership actually, that will evolve into a program that we're going to form between the local senior citizens like J.O. Clay and the Martin Center, and then the local high schools and their fine arts departments, for example, Brentwood High, Franklin Centennial. And because these kids put on tremendous plays and musicals, and the bands put on tremendous concerts. Well, we also have a great senior citizen population here. I work with them every day, the ones here in Franklin, and they're active, they're engaged. I mean, I'm going to be there soon, and so they're looking for things to do within the community, and they bring such a tapestry of experience and education with them that they want to continue to impart to others. So Senior Showstoppers is the name of the group, and that the program is really going to be centered around, and we're going to bring the seniors to these different programs like the musicals and the plays and the concerts. Most of these have dress rehearsals, and so they need an audience, and so the seniors would love to come see those. And so given what I do, there's sometimes transportation issues that prohibit the seniors from getting to these kinds of things. So through a partnership with TMA, we're going to be doing that, providing the transportation, and so we're hoping to launch this in the fall.
This sounds so exciting. I want to talk a little bit more about how
Sure.
how that works and how a community member creates those partnerships and liaisons, but we'll take a quick break and
Sounds
then
good.
come back and do that. So stay with us. We're going to learn about Senior Showstoppers. We'll be right back with Money Matters in a moment. We have launched a BYOT initiative to involve the entire Williamson County community and beyond. We want to put more laptops into the hands of our students in the elementary and secondary levels, district-wide. So we're looking for anyone, individuals, groups, businesses, other civic organizations, to join us. It's easy. We encourage you to participate on any level. Just think $500 per laptop and send whatever you can. You can go to the wcs.edu website and find the red button that says Invest Now. Click on that. You'll find instructions for giving there. So think about it. a laptop for every child, to help our BYOT initiative become even more successful in its second year around. Thank you.
Where can I find out about the Venus flytrap?
Where can I research information on my business competitors?
What is the safety record on the car I want?
Where can I research careers?
Where?
I'm all shook up.
The Tennessee Electronic Library. That's where. And it's free to everyone in our state. Now go to your public library and find out how you can log on and get your password to a world of information just for living in our state. You can probably even figure out the password just by listening to my voice.
I'm all shook up.
So now that we're back,
Yes.
let's talk just nuts and bolts. When you have this idea, how are you going to put it into work?
Well, you look at the dynamics that you need. You know, you recognize that, okay, the schools have these fantastic art programs that, so you look at that, and then you look at, okay, who would like to come see these? And we realize we do have this dynamic senior population that would be tremendous, that would, wow, kids and seniors, what a partnership there in itself. But how do we get them there? So we provide the transportation, the schools provide the programs, the senior citizens provide the audience, and you get all those together and it can't help but spell success, because then, you know, in that audience of those senior citizens who are sitting there watching these kids give it their all in these productions, which they do each year, and they're fabulous. If you haven't been to one of the school's productions, you need to go, because they're just stunning. But there will be somebody who has sung on Broadway, worked on a film, written a script, you know, has had a life that's touched this in some way. And so our plan is then after the dress rehearsal to allow the two entities, the seniors and then the students, to interact and trade stories and talk and,
I love that.
and visit, you know. And so this will be just a tremendous, we feel, benefit for everyone involved.
Oh, I love that, because I guess initially I was thinking all right, you're going to get the folks there, and they're going to, you know, for dress rehearsals, it's great to have,
Sure,
you know, live bodies in the audience, if you will. But I love this particular conversation. How cool will that be? To have a conversation with somebody who maybe has done this for real.
Absolutely. I mean, given where we are, that I mean, there are
true.
a lot of people that have history in the music, theater, production industries, and they've had great careers, and so they have a lot to give our senior population. And if our students could be the benefactors of that, that would be awesome.
So if I'm sitting watching the show and I'm bedazzled by Miss Debbie Henry, and I'm thinking, there is no way that I don't know anybody, or I don't have any children in the system, or I did, but long ago, I would have no idea how to get started. Can you help me with that? Help me let folks know how to get started.
I would highly recommend that you know, give your neighborhood school a call, whether it's a high school, a middle school, or an elementary school. I mean, nothing is more precious than going and seeing the kindergartners and first graders do their end of the year program. I mean, it just will warm your heart. And then you'll be wowed by the marching band, concert bands in high school, the theater productions. Call your neighborhood school, talk to your neighbors. And they have grandchildren or children involved, and they would love, you know, attend one program and you will be hooked, because I can tell you there are always, your neighborhood school is looking for volunteers, you know, community, because that is just huge to stay engaged and contribute and do pay it forward, because you are impacting a child, which is impacting your community's future.
Well, I like that, and I think sometimes when we talk about resources, we really think it is attached to a greenback or a check or a credit card. And I think what you told us today is that one of the priceless resources is time.
It is.
And expertise, I guess, too, and the sharing with the senior showstoppers. So it really is a matter of just, even if you don't know what the need is, although I guess another thing you could do is probably sign on to In Focus, which you can do through our website, and then you'll I guess you could go and find these programs that you're talking
Absolutely.
about.
Absolutely.
And anyone can go, right? It doesn't have to be a school person to go
right.
onto the campus.
No, not at all. And attend these functions and get engaged, because each school has its own needs, and they have their projects going on that need, you know, expertise, man hours, volunteers. You know, you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to bring a check with you. Your time and your heart are the most priceless things you can give, and that's what they need.
That is lovely. I love what you just said. Debbie Henry, you're a delight to know, and you're an inspiration. You've even told me things today I had no idea about, how deep your roots are, and how much you have gone from the classroom at Franklin to now helping all of the county. Thank you so much for joining us today, and I look forward to attending some of those senior showstopper shows.
We'll look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks, Debbie. And we'll be back to close out in just a moment.
It's time we all grow up and accept personal responsibility for water pollution.
I am the river and I flow.
Dumping just 1 quart of motor oil can pollute 1 million gallons of water. Fertilizers and pesticides pollute our streams. Follow the directions and use these products wisely.
Things we do every day create stormwater pollution, and stormwater runoff is one of the largest sources of water pollution.
Water pollution, it's not the other guy's problem.
Time, perhaps the most scarce resource we have to give to our community. When our students see members of our community in the schools creating opportunities for them, we provide a model of community involvement that our young citizens can follow as they become adults. The gift of time given to our school system is so important to our success. Any age of volunteer and any income level is always welcome. Sometimes we feel that once our children have graduated from the system, or maybe we're never in the system, that our resources are not needed or no longer necessary. Please reconsider that line of thought. Debbie showed us how devoting resources to Williamson County Schools continues to bring value to her personally and professionally. All members of the Williamson County community, with their varied and unique resources, have a critical role to play as we prepare our kids for this 21st century we find ourselves in, and that is why money matters. That is our show for today. A big thank you to Daryl Thompson of Raymond James for his continued support of our show. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
I'm Montel Williams. The Partnership for Prescription Assistance is traveling to all 50 states, making stops in more than 500 cities to help people pay for their medicine.
The PPA has been terrific. It's really changed my life.
Let me say right from the jump, this program is real. The help you can get is real. Thank you.
If you need help, you don't have to wait for the bus to get on board. Just call 1-888-4PPA now to see if you may qualify. A trained specialist will help you apply. Just tell them the names of the medicine you take. You could get them free or nearly free.
It has been a lifesaver for me in more ways than one.
This past year, America's pharmaceutical companies gave away more than $5 billion worth of medicines to people in need.
It really helped me out of a tough spot.
So whether you live in the Sunshine State or the land of the midnight sun, if you need help, just call 1-888-4PPA now. The Partnership for Prescription Assistance, on the road to helping you.